Well, the winningest handicapper at this site over the past 5+ seasons, Shawn Michaels, certainly kicked off the college football campaign in fine fashion last night. His college KO opening game of the year, a 100-dime max wager release, Utah getting the job done against Michigan with the home cover. And Shawn now 21-6 with 100-dime major wager releases in college football. He is taking a pass today, but there's other guys I'm here to tell you about, plus give you complimentary plays as well. FYI, just a quick retreat, though, on Shawn. $10 bettors now in football over the past 5 years have won $31,805, which unequivocally makes him the winningest handicapper here at this site with college and pro football action combined. Now, he is not an everyday handicapper. He has only released plays on days when he actually has games that he's playing. If he has something tomorrow, you'll find out about it here on the video report. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here. This, of course, is going to be your Friday video action. I took a split with my complimentary plays last night, gave you a winner as well on Utah, came up on the wrong side, short side of the North Carolina-South Carolina game, but still 69-36 roll with complimentary plays here on the video report. Yes, 69-36. I think you can live with that because I certainly can. And I've got selections here today on the Washington-Boise State game. Plus, I'll give you my thoughts after breaking down the games on Baylor, SMU, and Michigan State and Western Michigan as well. And then in baseball, Boston and Philadelphia is going to be your complimentary play. So those two plays plus extra stuff in college football coming your way in just a moment. Half-price play of the day today, it's going to be Matt Rivers, guys, with the 12th ever blank check, waive the rating college football release of his career. And he is a charter member of this site, going on 13 years now in football, charter member of the site. He had all those blank check releases last year. Remember that phenomenal month of October when he hit 9 out of 10 NFL and college football combined? Last year, college football went 8-3 with blank check releases. You got them all at a discounted price, including his national title game winner with Ohio State over Oregon. Today, 12th ever blank check release. And it's going to be your nightcap, Washington and Boise State, kicking off at 10:15 Eastern Time. And you are going to get it for half price simply by using coupon code BLANK, B-L-A-N-K. It's that simple for the half price play of the day. Once again, it matches his biggest college football release during his entire tenure here at the site. Quick props going out to Scott Delaney yesterday. 100-dime winner, South Carolina, his opening game of the year. Part number 2 goes tonight. It's another 100-dime play. And I shouldn't say tonight because actually it's your afternoon game. It's a 3:30 Eastern kickoff. UNC Charlotte against Georgia State. Just as strong as his South Carolina winner last night. Remember, last year he kicked off the season with back-to-back 100-dime college football winners, and then he capped it with a 100-dime winner with Ohio State and Oregon staying under in the title game. You got them all at discounts. Yesterday, you got his play at a savings of $70. Today, save $70 once more. But remember, it's early action. It goes at 3:30 Eastern Time. And with 100-dime plays in all sports combined over the past 4 years, he's 82-58. And he's made $10 bettors close to $8,000 over the past 16 weeks. You get it at a savings of $70 by using coupon code EARLY, E-A-R-L-Y, FYI. Wow, that's way too much spelling, don't you think? FYI, however, 50-dime plays are higher in what Scott Delaney considers as his max wager plays. And with those 50-dime plays are higher in all sports combined the past 3 years, $10 bettors have won over $37,000. Chris Jordan's got another 777 play going today, number 10 out of 12 over the past 2 weeks. Cashed in last night with Central Florida and Florida International easily under. You got it for $7.77. And today, you get his total winner, number 10 out of 12, on the Washington-Boise State over-under release. Okay, let's get to your complimentary plays. I find it kind of interesting with the Boise State-Washington game because of this, of course, is marking Chris Peterson's return to Boise. He left them a couple of years ago, built them into the powerhouse that they still are, took the job and more money and a more prestigious job at a Power 5 conference school with Washington. Problem is, he's pretty much in the same shoes that he was at a decade ago when he arrived at Boise State. He's got a rebuilding job to do, a lot of young talent, and the irony, of course, I thought that tonight that you've got a Boise State team where just about every single one of the players that are going to be in the starting lineup tonight, he recruited them. So, I mean, he certainly knows the personnel, but that's not going to help him on the other side of the field tonight. And this Washington team is green. A green offensive line that may be starting a couple of freshmen. A green defensive line that was so good a year ago, which lost most of its talent, either to graduation to the NFL. I think they had 4 starters go on to the NFL, and or injuries. You got a Boise team that, my God, this is like the biggest thing that's happened in Boise in God knows how long. The man that built your program is coming back to town. I was reading that the scalper prices for tickets here, which is expected to be a record sellout, are astronomical for this game. So I've got to go ahead and lay the points. Now, listen, I don't think Boise State is a great team. This is not a high-scoring offensive squad like you probably have in your recesses of your mind thinking, oh, the Broncos, they score 60 points a game. They weren't that type of team last year either. I just think that Washington is going to have problems putting points on the board here tonight. They're going to rotate a couple of quarterbacks in and out of the lineup here tonight. Peterson says he didn't give any hint who's going to start. Might be a true freshman starting for them at quarterback. The Boise quarterback has a little experience, having served as a backup last year, but didn't see extensive action in 5 games off the bench. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's a big number at 13 points, but I can certainly see, somewhere 21-7, 24-10. I can see it right around there, and I can see Boise State getting the cover in this contest. Now, before I get to your baseball selection, let me just talk about the other college football games. Okay, you've got Baylor going to Dallas to take on SMU, and of course Baylor is a monstrous favorite, as they deserve to be, 36 points. They've got a new quarterback. Bryce Petty is no longer there, but as you've seen, with Art Briles, it's about the system, just like it was years ago with the 49ers. It's about Bill Walsh's system. It's about Art Briles' system. It's about putting in guys that simply step into the system and they have success. And this year, the quarterback is going to be a junior, Seth Russell, who threw 11 touchdown passes in backup action last year and took the field quite often when Petty was banged up and bruised for the Bears. Now, you got an SMU team that lost 7 games by at least 30 points or more last year. SMU, June Jones quit after the second game of the season. This team was in turmoil. They made a great move. I thought it was the guy that they should have hired from the outset. I thought, once June Jones walked out on the program, I thought if they were going to target one guy, they got to go after him, and they got him, Chad Morris, who was the offensive coordinator at Clemson. I mean, you know what Clemson did offensively with Taj Boyd and all that talent he had down there. But the thing that made Morris the right guy for this job, this guy was the bomb when it came to, Texas high school football. I mean, he's got, I think he won a state title. He had one of the top programs in the entire state. You know how Texas rolls, guys. You got to have the connections. You got to have that pipeline from the high school. SMU had the fewest amount of players on the roster, scholarship players on the roster last year from the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area than any other team in the state of Texas. That shows you how little June Jones actually recruited in the Lone Star State and how little success he perhaps had recruiting in the state. That's not going to be the case with Chad Morris. He's going to turn this program around, but it ain't going to happen here tonight. It ain't going to happen overnight either. Interesting that he switched defenses as he brought in his new coordinator to a 4-2-5, which in the pass-happy Big 12 and playing some Big 12 opponents and playing in their own conference, you got to be able to certainly defend the pass. So they've gone to the 4-2-5 just like Baylor has as well. But the Bears have so much more defensive depth. They have so much more offensive firepower. They covered 7 games by 30 points or more last year. They won last year 45-0 at home and coasted after the first quarter when they opened a 24-0 lead. Now, the thing with Baylor is, and you saw what happened with the Baylor-TCU controversy for the national title and the, getting the bowl bid, et cetera, at the end of the year last year for the playoff. Baylor's weak non-conference schedule bit them in the ass last year, could bite them in the ass again this year. You open it up against a cupcake like SMU, you play another cupcake against Lamar, and then you have a week off. Out of sight, out of mind. So I think the perplexing question to be asked here in the game, which I don't have an answer for you, is does Baylor have to run up the score and win 73-14? Or does it matter? And do they call off the dogs early because of Chad Morris and Art Briles is a nice guy and they coast to the easy win? It's a monster number. Now listen, I laid over 25 points 3 times last year with the Bears and won all 3 games. Okay, but this is not the space to do it. But at the same time, I certainly cannot recommend taking SMU. Another interesting quandary of a game, Michigan State. going to Kalamazoo. This is the biggest game in Kalamazoo and I don't know, maybe forever, for Christ's sake. The Spartans are coming to town. Well, they're going to bring their fans as well, but still, at, Walden or Waldo Stadium or something in Kalamazoo, I mean, this is a monster game. Now, on paper, Michigan State is 17 points better, but it's the season opener. You got Western Michigan that's going to be pumped up. You have a Western Michigan team that has some talent offensively with their quarterback, Zach Terrell, a couple of good wide receivers in Corey Davis and Daniel Braverman, good running back in Franklin as well. Veteran offensive line that started 25 consecutive games for the Broncos here as well. Big offensive line, too. Surprisingly, for a Mid-American Conference team, they average like 6'4", 302 pounds. I mean, that's pretty good heft. And you're going to need it because this Michigan State defense is excellent. You got a veteran quarterback for the Spartans as well. The question I have here is, Michigan State is the better team. Now, the question is this. Do they get caught looking ahead to next week's game with Oregon? Because you remember what happened to Michigan State when they went to Eugene a year ago. There's the question. So knowing that it's a monster game for Western Michigan, does Michigan State get up early and then they coast? Does Michigan, perhaps have an eye cast forward to next week's revenge game and take the Broncos in this road game for granted? Again, you can't play this game because even though I've given you reasons to doubt Michigan State, I can give you plenty of reasons to doubt Western Michigan. Let's remember, they're a Mid-American Conference team. End of story. Do I have to say anything more there? When you take a look at Michigan's offensive line against the undersized Western Michigan defensive front seven, I mean, Michigan State ought to be able to blow some monster holes there and give plenty of pass protection as well. They ought to be able to move the ball offensively all night if they want to. And therein lies the question once more. So, Boise State is your official free pick there in college football tonight. In baseball, I'm going to go with the Red Sox and Joe Kelly. At home on the run line as a $1.10 dog against Philadelphia and Adam Morgan. Joe Kelly got off to a dreadful start. This is a guy who had touted himself, but didn't he tout himself like as a possible Cy Young Award winner or something, Earl, during the off season? I can't remember. I thought that's what I read that story about him months ago. He got off to a dreadful start for the Red Sox, 2-5 with a 5.67 earned run average in 14 starts, and that earned him a one-way trip down to Pawtucket pretty damn quick. Now, when they finally recalled him after a month in the minor leagues, his first two starts, well, he sucked. I mean, he gave up 13 hits and 9 runs in 8 2/3 innings. But since then, oh my gosh, 6-0 in 6 August starts. He has a 1.69 earned run average in his last 5 starts. Teams in those 5 starts, 0 for 26 against Kelly with runners in scoring position. That's pretty impressive. The Phillies have struggled all season long on the road, right? They've taken on a Red Sox team that has absolutely owned them. Boston has won 26 of the last 38 interleague meetings. I got to go with them, the Red Sox at home, on the run line, as your other complimentary play, along with Boise State. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all, and we'll do it again on Saturday when we've got a full slate of college football to talk about. Good luck, and I'll catch you then.